Hello. See, audio check. Hello, hello. That's good. Hello and welcome. I am Lons Vispel, Magister Extraordinaire. Well, I'll try that again. Lons Vispel, Magister Extraordinaire. I am coming back after a bit of a hiatus. Not much, a long hiatus, and not that too many people noticed, but I'm still here. I swear I didn't die. I just got food poisoning. That was pleasant. No, it wasn't any of the other horrible stuff usually associated. It was just an absolutely life changing amount of pain. What would be life changing if I hadn't experienced it before? It was definitely one of those. Oh, I'm really hoping that this never happens to me again, and then it happens to me again. So you know, what are you gonna do? This happens. Oh my god. But at least I'm coming back with something interesting. In this case, the something that just showed up in the mail this morning. I'm not one of the first people to get it, but I'm an early adopter at this point. Not as early as people in Japan have had it for a while. But this is the Figma Solid Snake MGS2 renewal version. Just have to put up with my terrible David Hayter. That's not a terrible one. I have a pretty decent David Hayter. Yeah, this is pretty cool. One sec. But yeah, you have to put up with my David Hayter for a few minutes. That's okay. Not only did I get it though, I actually even got the little special extra piece, which is the SOCOM and suppressor unit. Yeah. So I'm very happy to show this off. I think it'll be very fun for all of us. And I have a bunch of stuff coming over the next week, so we'll talk about that before I open it up. Um, we have I don't know about games. I could play Neo 3 some more. I could try something thematic and play Metal Gear Solid Delta. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of games I could play. I could play the new Battlefield 6 season, but there'll be a lot of hand cams this week or over the next couple of like week or so because I have, well, probably past the weekend because stuff has to show up in the mail, but I have a bunch of stuff coming in the mail over the next week. I have 2 Diaclone sets, so that'll probably be 1 to 2 streams if Good Smell gets off their butts and actually mails it out. I have the Skull Knight coming as well from Berserk. Uh, I have a bunch of other. I think that's it though. I think I have Skull Knight. I've got 2 Diaclone units. I have well, 2 Diaclone units, two Diaclone figures, 1 Cosmo Marine tactical mover, and then the new X1, which is 3 separate figures in 3 separate boxes, which I will be doing a comparison set between that one and the original X1, which I also have, along with a few other things. So that'll be a big stream, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. I think it'll be huge. It's going to be great. And let's see, anything else? Not much for hand cam, but like aside from that, I'll probably do a lot more gaming then. I might do some like more plant stuff. Like there's some plants that probably need to be repotted and a few things. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I was not terribly satisfied with the Valentine's Day stream, but to be fair, that stream was a giant mess in general because not a lot of things I wanted to flower weren't flowering, and I was also the first day of fighting off the food poisoning, so yeah, that wasn't fun. Like not at all. That was horrible. So it's amazing I was even able to sit there for like nearly an hour because of the pain. It was pretty rough. So maybe I'll do a little bit of a, a do over of that stream at the end of the week or something like next week. We'll see. But I have some plants that are actually about to flower, and we'll see if any of those are ready to. I'm also fighting off a cold here, so if I sniff, I'm sorry. It's my ears are stuffed, my nose is stuffed. Right after food poisoning, out of the frying pan into the fire, and I catch a cold. That's great. Excuse me, that's a horrible noise. Finish my Sprite here. stay conscious for the moment. So, all right. So let's take a look at the box. Let's see. Let me get a good look at it. What the? Did my mic? Is it my camera? What the heck happened here? Hold on. Seriously? Oh, okay. Not fun. Stop that. Oh, nuts. Of course. I just knocked the cable by like a little bit and the whole camera stops. Cursed. Hold on. Plug it back in. Come on. Might have to reset OBS here. Once it turns, there it goes. Okay, that was lucky. I didn't want to reset the OBS setup. Just gotta be careful not to bump that cable. I'm gonna move this over a little bit, just so it I don't bump that cable because obviously that port is very sensitive. That's what she said. Jeez, that was not good. Okay, it's again a little cramped here, so doing my best here. But go. Uh-huh. Okay, cool. So let's show off the box then. Not the mic, the camera's not freaking out. Let's zoom in. The light on that one. Yeah, we have lots of nice detail. I like this box. It's simple. Figma boxes are nothing usually to write home about. They're just usually pretty standard. You've got snake and you've got the number. Use number, what is it? 645. You've got the you can see them in the front. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Then we have the very special online Good Smile Shop exclusive handgun. They just call it a handgun, but it's a SOCOM. It's not the USP. USP didn't have the laser aiming module, the LAM unit, which I forget the company that made it. There was only a few of them made, so they're really hard. So if you wanted to get a SOCOM and you wanted to have it exactly as Snake had it in the first game, it's almost impossible to replicate because that unit was only made for Spec Ops guys. I think there's a couple places that might make replicas, but they're also rare. They're quite hard to find, let alone finding the original suppressor as well, which I know some places make, but it's different. So it's hard to find like a really accurate way to replicate Snake's Mark 23. So yeah, too bad. It's one of the ones I always wanted when it comes to handguns, but that's an expensive one. I had an airsoft replica for a very long time. That was just a Springer that had a mod, like a very crappy, surprisingly sturdy, but not very well made in terms of like functionality, laser aiming module with the flashlight. It was like a 100 lumen flashlight and everything. It was pretty cool. So let's got this. We'll open that up and there we go. You can kind of see it. There you go. Sort of. Here we go. So let's open Snake up first and then we'll give him his SOCOM. We'll take a look at his accessories and mess around with it a little bit, see how well we can pose it. And hopefully I won't have to bust out the hair dryer with this. People are like, oh, the joints are so tight, you're going to break them. I'm like, well, I'm pretty good with figures not breaking, but I have heard stuff about Figmas, and I hate using silicone grease on figures because it's harder to tighten a joint than it is to loosen it. I always found it is significantly worse to have to tighten something than it is to loosen it. So, and it never stays the same once you've loosened it. So I always find it's better to err on the side of something being too tight than it is on the side of being too loose. Because like once something is too loose, it's so freaking hard. You have to use that compound in the back, those two little bottles. Yeah. Here we are. We've opened it. Here is Snake. What do we have here? We have more hands, I think. Yeah, we have his grippy hands and his stand. He at least comes with what the old Snake did too, so that's good. Figma's been skimping on accessories for a while, from what I've heard. So at least this one comes with everything. Though they did get rid of his movable eyes. The original, it's actually one of those things that I find is very subjective. A lot of people like the original face sculpt for Snake, and like, I think I'm one of the people who didn't like it a lot, but I thought it was all right. I still think this is the better sculpt, though. I think so, anyway. One of his hands fell off the peg. Two of them did. Got a spare wrist joint and his Figma stand. At least they include a stand. There are a lot of places that don't include stands anymore. I'm not going to name names, but you know who you are. Yeah. It's not cool to not include stands with your figures. Like, seriously. I know Mega House used to include a stand for that Metal Gear Rex over here. It even comes with the stand adapter in the version that I got, but it doesn't come with the stand anymore. So, yeah, that's not cool. Like, you can still use like a Tamashii Act 5 or Tamashii stand, but making people buy their own stands is just uncool. I never liked that practice. You know, include the stand if you can, unless it's like especially if it's a big, expensive, heavy toy. It's not that much money to include a freaking stand. Probably should have some scissors for this. I don't even know. Let's see. Wait 1 second. I'll grab some scissors. And I am back with the scissors. So let's open this up. And MGS2 was so controversial when it came out, and it seems to be one of those games that everybody's like, oh, it's aged beautifully. It kind of has. A lot of people like Raiden a hell of a lot more. I was one of those people who's like, what the heck is this dude? I don't think the problem with Raiden was Raiden. I think the problem with Raiden was his relationship with Rose. Nobody wants to be a henpecked boyfriend in a video game. I understand why Kojima did it, but yeah, that's no fun. Nobody wants to be that. Okay. So. Oh. Okay. Let's hope things don't go flying. Gentle, gentle. Let's take our time. Oh, well, I didn't go flying, but and we have our little M4. Put that there. The other hand's there. Want the left hand trigger finger and the right hand grabby hand. Oh, have angry face Snake here. Let's see if I zoom in on that. Come on. Play nice. There we go. It looks good. It certainly looks like the game. It looks funny like that. Oh, Colonel Sanders. I've retrieved the nuggets. Have his M9 suppressor. Little silenced, integrated, suppressed, not integrally, suppressed M9. We have his. Oh, this is cool. I didn't realize that these come permanently attached. His hanging off things hands. That's cool. So you can just have him hang off of stuff. It reminds me of that old story of the guy who took a picture of his what's her name from Attack on Titan? Um, this the her I forget her name. The sister, Aaron Yeager's sister, not sister. Um, I want to say Makima, but that's Chainsaw Man. Um, Mikasa. Uh, is Mikasa on like a high up apartment building, and she freaking fell and just shattered into a million pieces. That was horrible. Yeah, there you go. So we took that piece off, and here's his head. Let's just be gentle with that. Let's zoom out. Put his head back on. There you go. Yeah, he's pretty solid. Solid snake, even. His joints are smooth. I don't feel like you need the silicone grease like the guy was saying. Oh, there goes his head back on. Yeah. Oh well, I can kind of see it with that arm. That's a little tight. See if I can do that without breaking it. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, there we go. I can see like where the paint would rub if you weren't careful, but I don't see like anywhere else where it would be a problem. Oh, his torso has one of these things too. Oh, pop. There it goes. I can pop that back in. It's always going to be a bitch. Oh, wow. I have to fish it out now. Okay. This is going to be one of those. Okay. Need a piece of plastic. Fish out that joint. Okay. If I do that without reaching for something. Here. Right. There we go. This is the stuff you use to fix loose joints, by the way. I got it off of Amazon. So it's highly recommended. They absolutely make any loose joint fully functional again. You actually get this back together. It's going to be one of those that I'm really regretting. Oh, there it goes again. Gotta fish it out again. Oh, nuts. And don't use that piece reference. Instead. Well, how am I supposed to get that joint back together? There we go. Okay, cool. I got it. Man, that's a little loose. Whatever. Always tighten it. All right, let's pop his hands off. Chooch. Get a little closer so that I'm not off fiddling with this thing off camera. One thing I always liked about Figma too is that they provide you with a lot of extra stuff. They provide you with a baggie to label the parts and stuff. So that way you have a place to store them. I keep all of mine in like a little tool storage case for like screws and stuff. That's very well organized. All right. Yeah, it looks good. So let's see. Yeah, this is cool. Very nice. Sad the holster doesn't actually function, but like then it wouldn't be able to hold the SOCOM either. So, you know, closer once again, so I'm not like here. Let's see here on the hand tray here. Let's see, put this here. And then there should be an open hand fell somewhere. Didn't lose that. There it is. An open hand. And then the two fists will go down here. Okay. All right. And we'll put his angry head there. Let's get the SOCOM out, because that's actually the one I want him to hold. That's the cool exclusive part, and also because that's the classic handgun. Where's the stand adapter? Okay, it's on the back. Wish they sold. I think they used to sell Figma stands separately, but they don't anymore. They don't sell them anymore. All right. Let's open this. Wiggle, wiggle. Go, a little baggy. Let's clip that open. And cut. No? That's a clean pull. That was very satisfying. Now, the cool thing about the suppressor on this one is it's actually removable. I don't think it wants to come off. There it comes. Yeah, there you go. Removable suppressor. And let's put it in his hand. How tight. Not want to cooperate. Figma's always felt so delicate to me. I feel like they want to cooperate, especially with this glove on. Oop. He's dislocated his shoulder. Look at that. That shoulder is wonky. You can tell this is an older Figma that was updated. It's most definitely doesn't feel like it's a... And they left out the cigarettes too. The question is, where's the box that it's supposed to come with? Don't tell me it's like in the actual box and I have to like cut it out. I get the feeling that it is. If it is, I'm not going to mess with it because I don't want to mutilate the box for the sake of a prop accessory. That would really suck. If I can do it without the stand. Base looks good though. Might be the first Figma I actually feel like playing with a little more. Like, he doesn't have a huge amount of accessories. He doesn't have stuff like holding him in the way. Like, I have, let's see, at this point I now have three now, including him, 3 Figma. I have the fluted armor, which I really like, but a lot of the parts on the fluted armor do get in the way of its posability. It's probably one of the better Figma. Feels really good. But I never had a huge amount of fun like posing it, especially considering one of the shields requires you to like force open the hand to get the shield handle in, and it always made me feel uncomfortable, so I never like messing with it much. There you go. There. It's not Solid Snake as he is working with philanthropy as opposed to Foxhound. And there he goes. He took a tumble. Snake, answer me, Snake. Snake. Bum, 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 bum. Unlimited ammo. Dana. And of course, I'm sure people are not asking about the fact that he's 6. I don't play Rainbow Six Siege. Or that game is tough and also not as fun as it used to be. But I almost considered picking it up just so I could play as Snake. I really am almost considering that. Because that actually might be kind of fun. It's one of the reasons I still played Fortnite is every time I play Fortnite, I always play Snake. Cool. Yeah, this is one of the nicer Figmas. It doesn't feel as dated as like it should, considering. Like, that's pretty cool. Back. That's nice. I'll try out the rifle in a bit. Somebody said that he didn't include the trigger discipline hand, but he does. He includes it. It's pretty cool. I like this. I like the fact I still like the fact they include the spare joints. This is so cool. Let's put the parts back and then we can mess around with them more. Go. And in Japanese, it says the typical stuff: paint may rub off. Beware of Japanese dog, etc. Don't watch while Snake falls over again. Here, I'll just put him there until I'm ready. Until I'm finished cleaning up all this crap. Put it back in the box. Yeah. Put it back in the box. My apologies for my impression again. Okay, let's see. Where is that cardboard box? Here? I think I feel it. Oh, here it is. Here's the cardboard box. Hey, at least it's a separate piece. Let's see. Do I have to glue this? I really hope I don't have to glue it. Hope all I have to do is fold it. That would suck. That would suck if I had to glue it and all I have to... Okay, it doesn't want to come out. There you go. The orange box. Oh. What the? Greetings from California. Norishiro. Let's see. Do not place on shelf. Yeah, I think it wants glue. I don't have any paper glue. Let's see how it says to fold it. There we go. Glue or double-sided tape. I have double-sided tape. Okay. And bend. Bend. What you do, I guess, is that you just bend this like this. This goes here. I do have some really good double-sided tape that could probably be fine for this. It's very thin. Let's see how it looks beforehand. Yeah, that's cool. Before it's glued? Yeah. I'll do this off camera. I have to cut the tape and everything. Well, I mean, I could do it on camera. I don't even know where the tape is, though. I'll have to find it. For now, I'll just leave it here. Yeah, it's the orange box. Valve adding Solid Snake to their game when... It does seem like MGS2 Snake is become emblematic because he's always the one that when he appears in games, it's always MGS2 Snake. Like he first appeared in Brawl as MGS2 Snake. His appearances in Fortnite were also MGS2, any crossover that has Snake in it's always going to be as Iroquois Pliskin. No, that is not Solid Snake. I'm Solid Snake. I will become the boss to surpass all the boss. I will become the biggest boss. Boss. Biggest boss. Okay, let's stuff all that back in the box. I think that is a perfect place to just put everything away and start messing around with it. There you go. Oh, plant detritus still. No matter how much you clean it off, it finds a way to cling to things. How it is. Sorry if I seem a tiny bit low energy this stream. I'm only just now getting over everything. And like I said, I started off with food poisoning and ended up with a cold. So I'm sort of going from out of the frying pan into the fire. So I'm not exactly feeling my utmost best. But hey, I'm here just to enjoy this and hang out. We'll pose them some more and talk some more Metal Gear and talk about some other stuff, and maybe I'll bring out some other things for scale too. Here we go. Box over here. There's this Figma stand. Pop that back there. Go in. That out. Force it. I want to force that a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Just gently. They shrunk Snake's cake. It's not quite as big. Solid cake. Solid snake, solid cake. There you go. At least they have the stand. That's one thing I like about Figma. They always include the stand. How do you get pop his mullet off? Yeah, there we go. That's easy. Angry face. Solid angry snake. All right, let's see if I can pop this gun out without damaging his trigger finger. Pop the suppressor off too so I don't snap it off. Gentle. There we go. Now let's do the M4. Little M4 carbine. Proper shooting position here. Go. And you get the blast effect, which is cool. Pop it right on the edge. Oh yeah, that actually is pretty solid. Snake. I'll definitely be keeping all the accessories for this guy out. This is cool. You can get some pretty cool poses with Figma. That's for sure. Oh my god, I rushed the camera. Freaking out. There you go. That's cool though. Let's see if I can get a zoom in on that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like the fact that this alone was worth the price of admission for buying from Good Smile's shop. There's still these in stock, I think. I think there's still a couple in stock on Good Smile US. They are slow. I'll admit they're freaking super slow to ship, but they do ship pretty often. I mean, like they're shipped to stock pre-orders. They're slow to stock pre-orders and they're slow to ship, but they're pretty reliable. There was some controversy with them and like data leaking and stuff, I think, a few years ago, but I never really heard much about it other than that. So, you know, other than that, it seems pretty cool. So, yeah, look at that. That's pretty sweet. Wonder if you can get that on the end of the suppressor with his little Mark 23. Probably not. You can get it on for the regular. Nope, you can't even fit on there. It's only for the rifle, I guess. All right, let's do the trigger discipline hand. The pistol, Mark 23. List. Always practice good trigger discipline, kids. And of course, first rule of gun safety: have fun. It's true. It is the first rule of gun safety. First rule of gun safety is to have fun. It's okay, YouTube. It's only a toy gun. I swear it's only 30. It's only 29 rounds. This does not want to hold the gun. Sheesh. Okay. What the? Man. Swap out his face. There we go. Out. Try to remember the basics of CQC. I think the trigger discipline hand is pretty cool, as opposed to the just regular trigger finger hand. Oop, there it goes. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I don't know why people say to use silicone grease. I've never damaged any of these joints so far. Never felt like I was going to. I guess if you have the hammiest of hands, then yeah, you feel like you're going to damage it. But you know, it's always funny that when Snake first appeared in Brawl, he had to have his little suppressed M9, his M9 be the one that put people to sleep because they didn't want to have a real gun in the game. I'm pretty sure. And then Joker just shows up and has a gun. I guess after Bayonetta, they're like, well, whatever. We have guns in our game anyway because Bayonetta's got 4 of them. So like, why bother beating around the bush? Like Snake should have gotten an update to get his SOCOM then. Then again, it's not like the M9 was not his main weapon in the in MGS2. It was like he didn't get the USP until after he beats Olga. So the M9 is more of his signature weapon. But I still think this SOCOM is more iconically Snake than, despite the fact that it's more what he is too. The original one had a darker color to it, and this one's a little more of a blue. I think they tried to go with more of a an accurate to the color, to the game's palette. I like the same thing they did with his face. His face looks a little more. Hand keeps falling off. There you go. His face looks a little more accurate to the game. It's kind of interesting how they managed to do that sort of almost Roger Rabbit effect with his face, where it pops out. Like you look at it and his face looks very much like it's just came right out of the game with that early PS2. Like the faces in MGS2 are really good for PS2. Like really good. It looks just like it, you know? I'd say pretty close. I'd say like very close to it. I don't know. That's cool. It's definitely one of the cooler ones. This is a pretty nice Figma. I'll probably keep this one upstairs with me while I'm like hanging out in the kitchen and stuff just to pose him instead of putting him on a shelf somewhere. He's almost G.I. Joe scale. He's just like just short of it. Man, I'm sweating in here even though the heater's off. Hope I'm not running a fever. That would suck. I don't feel sick in terms of like whether I'm running a fever or not, but whatever. You know, you don't feel sick until you actually are sick. Wow, so profound. So profound, Luns. Yeah, great. You don't feel sick until you're actually sick. That's a real philosophy move. Oh, the back of he's got mullet articulation. Mullet articulation. Look at that. Like he's got a little joint on the back of his mullet, so his head can go forward and get that turkey neck snake mullet articulation. Kung Fu grip mullet articulation. Those are the features that should be on the box. Snake Plissken. Kurt Russell is Solid Snake. I mean, strong D. Man. I am just like sweating over here. I definitely need to turn the temperature down. Maybe I'll just do this next time with like not a hoodie, instead like a long sleeve shirt that breathes easier when I stream in here. Got to keep the room hot. This is where Teo sleeps and where I keep all my plants. So yeah, that joint on the shoulder. Here's some solid. What do we have here? Some solid snake action. Hello, CKKRS. Welcome. Yeah, we've got the early Figma, or the re-release of the Figma Solid Snake. Here I'll zoom in on him. You got some my nice camera, so you can see him really well actually. So here we go. Yeah, look at the we got some nice details on him here. And we've got Metal Gear Rex in the background. I don't have Ray. I kind of wish that Mega House had made a Ray. That would be super cool if they did. So you can see that really. And he's got the yeah, it's really nice. This is a good one. This is a really high quality, like this is the second release of this Figma, and you can tell because the joints on the shoulders don't disguise themselves quite as well, and he's also 90% Figma joints as opposed to some of the newer ones which use different ones. Also, you can tell he's like based on an older, more stylist figures because his thighs are thicker. I know it's a weird thing, but it's true. The older figures had like the original Snake figure, Figma had thicker thighs. I'll actually bring up that one here. Let's bring up a window. Let's see. I always forget how to do this. Window capture. Here we go. Let's see. Okay. Figma Solid Snake. Here he is. So I'll show you like the original, like the comparisons between the two. Like you can tell, like the original had this weird look to him. Yeah. Like look at like the difference between the two. The one on the right definitely looks more accurate to the game. While the one on the left has like a certain like I like the darker gray on the first one a lot, but in the end, the second one, the first one's kind of got this weird stony look to him. Not only that, the first one has this weird thing that they used to do on Figma they don't do anymore, where you can adjust the eyes. Like you just have a little tool and you could pop the face off and adjust the individual eyes to make him look in different directions, which is cool in practice, but in like application, it always just looks weird. You know, it just looks friggin' weird. So yeah, like it never looked quite as good. But yeah, like the way you get that, yeah, it is a cool option to have. This one doesn't have that. This has instead the more game accurate face, which I liked. Like I like how much let's see if I get the light on him a little bit more and zoom in. I wanted to have like this. Yeah, that's what I love about my camera is that you can get some serious detail on things. Yeah. Well, MGS2 is still, I think there's an HD collection with MGS2 and 3 and 1. Yeah, isn't that great? It's a Sony 86 Alpha 6400 or 6400. I got it so that I could capture the detail in my plant stuff. So when I do plant streams, I want people to be able to, and just in general, like stuff like this. I also do miniatures. So if I'm like trying to capture something that's the size of a penny, like for example, this little oh, I dropped something. Yeah, it was his faces. There you go. Like for example, the M9, I can hold it up to the camera. Here, if I let's see if it'll focus. Yeah, there you go. See? Look at that. I can capture something, the details in something this small. Yeah, isn't that cool? And this is the suppressed. Yeah, you can see the grooves. You can see the slide. You can see the laser sight on the bottom. This is the one with the suppressed trank dart one that you start off the game with. If my voice sounds a little off, it's like I said, I have a cold, a little bit of a cold. I'd rather be streaming than lying in bed, just, you know. But I got the SOCOM that he's holding in his hand that you can see, which came specifically with Good Smile online shop exclusive, which is so cool. The first time this figure came out, I wanted to buy him, but the Good Smile store wasn't available in the United States, so I couldn't get the suppressed SOCOM. You would have had to have like bought it extra on like Yahoo Japan auctions or eBay, or hoped somebody was selling it for like an extra $50. But it's cool since Good Smile started selling these things, I have the option of getting it again. So, and this time I actually have it. And this is my opinion. I like this version just as much. So, and what's cool is he has his little grippy hands too, so you can have him hang off of things too. So yeah, you can have him hang off your freaking desk, which is cool. I thought these were actually removable, but so you can like have him grip different things, but no, they're permanently attached to this, so he can just like place this on something, and if you put like a weight on top of it, he can hold on to ledges, have him crawling on a ledge. There's a Russian soldier that's supposed to go with this guy too, but they never, I don't know if they reissued him or if they ever will. It'd be cool if they did though. This one will honestly stand up just fine on his own. He doesn't really need to stand as much as other Figma. But I'm also really good at balancing toys, so like really good at it. I can balance almost any figure. There you go. Let's see. Can I do it? Yes. See? No stand needed. I'm like the master at balancing toys. I can make a figure that has no point of balance to yeah, I'm really good at posing figures. Like that's one of my things I love. Like you can see Rex back there who's fully stood up on his hind legs. with no stand whatsoever, and I've got him balanced and pretty solid. I can like move the table and he won't move. Yeah, the Figma stands are nice though. These are great. Best stands in the biz though, I have to say, I still think Figma is up. Up. See, it's just because this is moving. Snake, answer me, Snake. It's because this is moving. That's why. That's why he fell over. So we'll put him on his stand since no matter what, he's gonna fall over, no matter how well I balance him. Yeah. Gotta have that nice round movement. Yeah, it goes multiple speeds. It's remote controlled. Pretty cheap off of Amazon. I really like it. It's always good to have like a lot of options to like display and review things. People want to see all the angles, especially they don't want to just stare at a static figure when you're reviewing it. Like I got this advice from on how to set up stuff. This is mostly my own design for setting up like the hand cam area, but I got some ideas from Jobby the Hong and a few other toy reviewers I've watched over the years and helped out over the years. So like when it comes to toy reviewing and stuff like that, I wanted to make sure that people get like the best view of everything, like all the accessories and stuff like that, all of the points of articulation, all the details. And plus, if I'm just sitting here talking, it's cooler to have it just like sitting there rotating rather than just sitting there. I actually didn't have a plant today. Usually I pull a plant out of one of my displays and out of one of my boxes and put it out there as well. I don't have a plant that would be appropriate, do I? I'll just pull something out, I guess. Let's see. Let's see. What can I pull out? Heh, there you go. There's something for you in the corner. That is, what is this one? This is a particularly rare plant. Here, we'll zoom in on it. I am one of the only people I know who grows these. This is, what is this? Oh, this is lanata. This is Drosera pediolaris lanata. This is a very carnivorous plant from Australia, a very rare one. I just thought I'd put it in the corner because it's cool to look at. Yeah, it's not poisonous, but it is carnivorous. Very carnivorous. They are voracious. I've caught them eating all sorts of stuff in my grow tent. I don't know too many people who grow them. They're weird. They're a strange plant. I don't even know. I only know one site that even sells them anymore. They used to be really popular, and then they kind of disappeared. And the only place I know that sells them bare root, which, if you know anything about Australian plants, they hate having their roots touched. Like a lot. But yeah, this is a lot of stuff that I'm gonna cover in my streams. Like, I'm gonna have some pretty cool stuff coming up. I do, random Figma reviews. These days I've got a couple that were coming. But most of the stuff I'll concentrate on is mecha toys, like this Rex over here. I've got some fantasy stuff. I have like hundreds and hundreds of cool toys, figures, cool plants, fossils, just all sorts of cool stuff to show off on my hand cam. I've got meteorites. I'll be doing Gunpla builds. I'll be doing Zoids, Lego sets. I have a Bricklink exclusive Lego set that I'm going to build in July. So, if you stick around, you're going to see some stuff that you've never seen before. Some really cool stuff and somebody who knows a lot about it. So I think that'll be fun. But yeah, we got Snake. We got his little M4. I love the fact they included at least the same amount of accessories as the original, including his little box. I'll have to glue this later, but you do in fact get the orange box, which is funny because thanks. Yeah, thank you. Because like I'm really happy I just want more people to enjoy stuff. Like there's a lot of people on Twitch, but I feel like there's nobody who really does what I do. You know, I do a lot of hand cam stuff, and I'm going to do a lot of hobby stuff as well. I'll be doing terrarium builds for plants as well. So if you ever wanted to see a cool terrarium or like volcanic rock and like water features, Japanese style flower arranging, bonsai trees, I have bonsai trees that I'm going to do. Um, yeah, all sorts. It's going to be cool. The gunpla builds, I'm not an expert, but um I'm pretty good at them, I'd like to say. And I want to teach people too. So it's not just me showing off. I will also teach you how to do that, which I think it'll be really cool. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, hopefully she might even be interested in tuning in for some stuff. Like maybe she could see some of my terrariums and maybe get some ideas or things like that. Because I do carnivorous terrariums, I do orchids as well. I grow orchids. I also do cooking streams because I'm also a really proficient home chef. That's gonna come soon. I will be doing home cooking as well. That's gonna be a lot of fun. I know that people will be really excited for that, and I'll be doing simple recipes, uh, international stuff. I'll be doing more complicated things. I'll be doing shorts. I have a YouTube channel as well that I'll be uploading all this stuff to. I have all my link spam. Um, and I'll be starting to update very soon. I'm very early on. This is only like a preliminary model for me, but like, yeah. Trust me, I'm gonna entertain people with my cooking. I know people will like it. Once I figure out like to iron all the bugs. The nice thing is that I'll be using the same camera, so you'll be able to see all those details. You'll probably be able to smell it. It's gonna be good. Um, it's gonna probably be able to taste it. It's gonna be one of my favorite things to do. I have a couple recipes planned. One of the ones I want to do, if I can get them, my local store used to sell them, but they don't have them lately, is gyoza. I was gonna make like gyoza like I do. Whenever I make gyoza, I make 100 at a time. So that's one of my favorite things to do is just sit there and just make 100 gyoza in a row. And then I make what's it say? What's the word for it? It's not hotate. It's I always forget the word for winged gyoza in Japanese. I do speak Japanese as well. Here, winged. Here, let's switch to the stream thing. There you go. Window capture. Boop, boop. Here. Winged, not winged Gundam. No. Gyoza. Hanetsuki. Yeah. I make Hanetsuki gyoza. What you do is instead of making like a regular gyoza, you just boil them in water, like steam them, pan fry and then steam them the rest of the way. Instead of water, you make a mixture of flour and cornstarch and rice vinegar, and then you pour that in, and when it boils away, it cooks that slurry mixture around the gyoza and creates a crispy skin around them. So they all stick together like a big old pancake, and you just crunch them apart. And then I mix it with you mix them with the gyoza sauce, the regular gyoza sauce, with a little bit of like a spicy yellow mustard too. That's one of my favorite things to do. Yeah. I had them at a restaurant near me. They were flat like pancakes along with ramen. This was before ramen restaurants in the US started taking off. And I was like, I've never had gyoza like this before. Like pancakes. And then you had like big pancakes and like dark sauce and like it looked like yellow mustard, like your regular French's mustard, but it was very tangy. Another thing I'm going to try and do is, since I'm a plant guy, I want to try and I grow my own herbs and stuff. But what I really want to do is grow my own wasabi. I've tried it once before, but I'm gonna try it again. Um, Last crop of wasabi worked well, but I wasn't able to prop them. So I had wasabi, but I wasn't able to like prop it, so I had more. But this time, I want to be able to prop it so I can like take pieces off of the fully grown plant, so I can get more. But like, if you've never seen what real wasabi looks like, here, yeah, um, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Yeah, let me show you what that looks like. This is pretty cool. Here, real wasabi. Wasabi. Wasabi root. So this is cool. This is what it looks like. You take that and then grind that up. It's really good. You can make stuff out of the leaves too. So I'll be cooking with that. I think it's going to be fun. Yeah, no, I'm just like talking about my future content here and kind of ignoring poor Snake who's just sitting here. Here, let's take a look at him some more instead of just yammering on. Here, let's see. Let's go and pop that off, and let's give him his. I don't think there's anything I can hang him off of, but here we can at least give him his rifle. Go. Yeah, just wait till you see my full model too. That's gonna be really cool. That'll be in a couple. That'll be in a month or two. Who knows? My lovely artist, she's working very hard on it. But yeah, we've got a lot going on. Let's see. Here we go. How long did it take you to become proficient in Japanese? A long time. Mada. Let's see. 10年だ. Yeah, まだ10年だ. 練習します. 10 years or so. Since I was in uh 小学生, 4th grade. About 3rd to 4th grade, I started practicing because I stayed at this private school. My parents my mom wanted to send me to this private school. We couldn't actually afford it, but I stayed there for like a couple of days, like went to the class to try it out. I wasn't able to like afford it eventually because it was so expensive. But I did get to meet the teachers and the other students, and they had a Japanese teacher. And eventually, what happened was I did end up having her as my tutor after she left that school. So, in about 3rd grade, we had her teach me Japanese privately, and she taught me how to make Hiroshima style okonomiyaki, which is, if you've never had it, it's a Japanese pancake, which is mixed with like a pancake batter with cabbage, and they're huge. And it's like pancake batter, cabbage, yakisoba noodles, like a dark sauce, either bulldog sauce or yakisoba sauce, or like okonomiyaki sauce, okonomi sauce. And then here, we'll swap his face out too. He's at the angry face. I'll zoom in on that too so you can see the angry face, because it's actually, both faces look good. Yeah, it's not that hard to make, and the ingredients are cheap. Like, you can use a lot of things. That's okonomiyaki translate roughly as you like it. So you can put whatever you want on it, and it's cheap and easy. Like, one of the whole things, there were stories going around for a long time of college students in California making this in their dorm rooms on just like a hot plate, like a griddle. And you could just like make it, because all you have to do is chop some cabbage, chop up some, like, get some cheap yakisoba or ramen noodles, and like a couple of other ingredients, like basic ingredients, and just like a basic pancake batter. You don't even have to like make a pancake batter. You just buy it in the store and use that. And then you could just like add whatever ingredients you'd want to it. And it creates this awesome crisp pancake that's very filling. And like, I would top mine sometimes with oysters. When I was in Hiroshima, they had like, that's the big national dish of Hiroshima. All of the okonomiyaki restaurants in Hiroshima, they would have like baseball team pictures. They're all bright red. You walk in and your eyes are salted with like this bright red everywhere, because it's the Koi, the Hiroshima Koi, which is their big baseball team. And they would always have like portraits of the different players on the walls that would eat at the restaurant. I remember walking around Hiroshima like late at night and going to all the different okonomiyaki restaurants, like all the little holes in the walls. And they were right after work, and there were all the people out late, like drinking and partying after work and eating late. And it was always so cool because you see them catching like the streetcars, because Hiroshima's like, it's like San Francisco. They have streetcars everywhere. It's so cool. They go up and down all the way around the main drag and all around the city. So even if you miss like the subway trains in Tokyo, they have the tramway and like the streetcars in Hiroshima. So yeah, that was cool. That's one of my favorite memories too. And Hiroshima is so close to the ocean as opposed to like other cities. I mean, Japan's an archipelago, so yeah, it is. It's cool. I love Hiroshima's their streetcars, and they run late too. So even if you won't miss them like you would miss the train if you stayed out late in Japan, in like Tokyo, you would miss the train and you're stuck. But with like Hiroshima, you can always catch the streetcars late at night. Um, if, though the taxis run 24/7 anyway, and they won't try and like give you the runaround like American or other countries' taxis will, where they're like, "Oh, we're gonna give you the extra long route and charge you double." No, they're cool. They'll usually just take you right to where you need to be and won't overcharge for fare because it's already expensive enough. The sushi was really good there too. I loved the sushi there. I think I'd love to go back. One of these days I'll go back to Japan. In Japanese and a whole conversation. Yeah, it is. But all you have to do is practice bit by bit. I'll probably do some Japanese learning streams to help people brush up on it. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like my memory when it came to certain things is bad too, so I totally understand like forgetting stuff. Like I forgot so much of stuff from my undergrad after a while. I was just like, especially when I finished grad school, I was like, that's it. I don't want to think about school anymore. I forgot everything. Oh my god. I didn't want to think about any of the stuff I learned for a long time. Oh my god, what a thought. Yeah, it's like the worst case of senioritis ever after you finish. Once you finish grad school, it's even worse. You're like, I don't want to see the inside of a school for unless I'm going to meet a friend. I don't want to see the inside of a college again. It takes a very special person to not only want to say I want more of that after undergrad to go to grad school. It takes an even more special person to do post grad and say I want even more of that, and then go back after finishing a graduate degree. Yeah, I only know two people like that, and they're obviously very comfortable in the academic system. That's not me, man. I was comfortable enough. I'm happy I'm done. I just want to be a VTuber. uh, but yeah, like, mm-hmm. Oh, what are you studying? Because like, yeah, it's tough. College is always. I want this to, like, I like my streams to be a place for people to like heal themselves from the stresses of everyday life. So there we go. Let's zoom in on his face so we can get a good look at that, Mr. Angry Eyes. There we go. Computer. Oh yeah, got a scholarship. Yes, I know what you mean. Like I studied. I felt pressured to do. I felt pressured to do CS as well in my undergrad. I did computer engineering for a little bit, and it was rough, and I couldn't finish it. It ruined, messed with my health. But stick with it if you could do it. Stick with it. Like for me, it was tough. I ended up doing art instead. And then my grad stuff was I did an MBA, so which was tough. That was hard. But I'm glad that I'm finished. Like, yeah, doing a PhD would be rough. Yeah, you didn't really want to go to college. Hey, at least you got the scholarship. Better that than loans. If you can stick with it and you can make something of it and find some time to enjoy the things you enjoy too. Don't feel like you're missing out on stuff too much. It's more valuable to do education than go around partying, you know? I feel like people feel pressured to party in college. And really, I remember seeing that a lot when I was in my arts degree. Yeah, solely on what they enjoy, like people who go to stuff they hate. Yeah, yeah. I think you should go to college for what you love. It's true. I wanted to do computer engineering, but I couldn't do the math. But I did enjoy doing film. I was very good at it. And I'm good at editing, and the skills that I learned in that have translated into this. If I didn't know how to edit and I didn't know my way around a camera, I wouldn't be able to have set up this setup, I think. That's the thing that I like the most. Is I wouldn't know how to make all of this look as good as it did, which I think is cool. Because without that, without my education in film, mhm. Yeah. Ah, you seem fine. You're holding a conversation with me. I mean, that's fine. So there you go. Hey, it's nice too, you know? Since I'm such a small streamer right now, it's more fun that you can just hang out and chat with me instead of having to compete with like 50 other people in a chat, you know? That's kind of cool. That's why I don't mind. Like people get so hung up too on the numbers. They're like, "Oh, I'll never make it out of 10. I'll never make it over 100 viewers." There's something to be said. Yes, it's cool you make more money with more viewers and more people to support, but something special about the low numbers sometimes. That's cool. Like it's a something intimate about it, which is cool. You get to meet people, you're getting started, you're learning how things work. It's fun. If you're doing this like it's the same thing with streaming, like if you're doing it just because you want to make money, then you're going to get hung up on the numbers. Yeah. Exactly. Only a handful actually. Exactly. I feel like as much as I'd love to have a huge audience and I would like one eventually, I'm kind of treasuring these early days because I don't know if I'll make it. Maybe I will and maybe I won't. But if I do, I'd like to remember nights like this when I'm just hanging out with two people in my chat, talking about stuff back and forth instead of, watching my chat go by at lightning speed and thinking, "Oh god, do I have to moderate this guy?" Getting one guide and like not being able to adequately talk to everybody or keeping up with super chats on YouTube as well as like Twitch. So this is the special time. This is. I think people it's a mindfulness thing. Mhm. I know. Yeah, I do a lot of everything and I play games too. I'll also be doing that. I also have a large collection of fossils and meteorites too, so I think people will like that. So if I ever do a Jurassic Park game, I'll bring out some of my my dinosaur fossils, which will be cool. I think people like that. I have meteorites. I've got so much cool stuff. I have things that are beyond belief in my collection. That I don't like bragging on it. It's stupid, but I like to show off that stuff just because I think people enjoy it, not just to be, oh, look at what I have. Yeah. Yeah, archaeology. That's fun. I wanted to do archaeology, but man, you got to do OChem. You got to do organic chemistry and calculus to do all those hard sciences. Yeah. Yeah. The one stream I really want to do, if I make it to a couple thousand subs, is I will do a stream on Nihonto. I have a very old sword, an old Japanese sword, and I never took the handle off it. So I don't know if it has a signature on it or not. And if it does, I'll take the handle off on stream and we'll see if it has a signature. And if it does, then we'll translate it. I'll talk about some books that you should read. Um, I'll talk about like the different smiths, how to spot a fake signature, um, how to spot like the proper hamon, when to know what era a blade is from. This is stuff that I've also been interested that I don't know enough about it because that's like a lifelong pursuit. But if people are interested, I think people might like that. So I know a lot about a lot of different subjects. My brain's like a sponge. So yeah, I have a lot of things that I like to talk about. But yeah, this is cool. So we've got Rex as well over here. This is a D style. This is the Mega House D style Rex, D spec Metal Gear Rex. I actually had to do some work on this thing because like the leg here kept falling off. Like it rotates along this axis here, and you can see it's pretty strongly on there because I recently applied some joint secure to it, and I'll show you. It's right back here. This stuff. I always keep proper chemical stuff to do to show people how to like maintain figures and take care of stuff. If you've got loose joints on your figure, this is what I'll do. You take this, and there's a little applicator right here on the tip here. You take that and you apply it to the joint, work the joint a little bit, it'll flow into the joint. This is a formula derived from something that somebody on the toy board on 4chan invented called Kiki's. But like you basically take that stuff and it flows. It's like super glue. It's like a diluted version of super glue and floor polish that mixes. And then it flows into the joint and it starts off blue so you can see where it's flowing. And then once it dries clear. And it doesn't dry like super solid, so it won't glue the joints shut. So like if you have a toy or an old figure that has like weak joints, you can use some of that stuff. And I got it off of Amazon. So if you have a toy that has like weak joints, you can fix it with that. I fixed so many old figures with this stuff. or even new stuff because this toy was brand new. Yeah, a lot of people have made things for action figures over the years to maintain them. Back in the day, one of the things you had to do before the invention of things like this, before fan formulas like that, like Kiki's, is you'd use what was called you'd go to the store and get floor polish with what's called Future, Fewture, Future floor polish, um, which is super cool stuff. It basically would create a resinous clear coating over the joints, especially useful for figures with die-cast metal joints. Since if you have a die-cast ball joint, over time the metal will shear off in small microscopic amounts and just get loose over time. So you always have to like replace that micrometer, nanometer thin bit of material between the socket and the ball joint, so it'll tighten up. And it's very easy to do with this stuff. It works fine on diecast and it works fine on plastic. I don't touch any of my figures with diecast metal ball joints because I just don't like messing with them because I'm always afraid that the joints will get loose. Though I'll probably end up reviewing them eventually, and as soon as I touch them, I know those arms will just like fall and droop and never come back. Because some of them have been in the same pose for like 10 years. Oh my god. Let's see, how long have I been streaming for? An hour and 20. I can stream for a little while longer. Yeah, it is better safe than sorry, but I do want to show off some of them. I've got a lot of cool stuff. I've got some fantasy figures too that I want to show off. But for now, I could like put the box together, but I don't know where I put the tape. So, like, I have some double-sided tape that should be a lot better than it is. Because I brought the double-sided tape down here to secure my USB hub to the bottom of my laptop stand that I have. Because you can't see it, but off to the left, I have my laptop mounted on an arm. You can kind of see it. See if I move it like this, you can see the laptop is on an arm and like it's like secured to the wall, so it can rotate and I can move it up and down. It's floating, and I have a little USB hub that's like glued to the bottom. That's double stick taped to the bottom of the laptop stand, so I can plug in my camera, and I can plug in like my roadcaster, which you can see over here. You can see the lights to the right. So yeah, I've like, let's see, is this as far as it'll zoom out? Yeah, good, honestly. I don't want to see too much of this area. But yeah, like we've got like all sorts of stuff that I can work with here. Anyway, yeah. So this is a little bit of a Metal Gear special. I wish I had more Metal Gear figures. I don't have enough. Luckily, they've been reissuing them. Like I said, they reissued the D-Spec Rex. This year, they're coming out with a Soul of Chogokin Rex, which I'll bring up. Here, let's bring up the window again. Oop, here we go. Metal Gear Rex. This is cool, though. Like, they're coming out with this one. I'm really excited because this looks like the definitive version. There was a company that called FreeZero that made one, but it was there were two versions of it, and both of them were very delicate. One of them was gigantic. What's it called? 3A. Yeah, it was giant. Like, you can see how much a lot of people's have started drooping over the years. But it's big. There was two versions, a full-size version, which you can see just how big it is. Like, this thing is massive. The 3A Rex was gigantic. And then there was a half-size version, which is worth more than the full-size version. Like, I like the fact that the Chogokin one, though, is going to be the Chogokin version is going to be smaller. Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, they're gonna make a like this is a lot of money, but it's smaller, which I like. I'd much rather have something be smaller and high quality than too big and not sturdy. A lot of people talk about how their 3A Rexes don't stand up anymore. The lights don't work anymore. You know, look at that. He has to hold up the wings on this thing, on the Ray. Though the Ray does look cool. I'd like them to do Ray as well. Rex and Ray would be a cool combo to have. If Rex sells well enough, they'll do Ray. I remember being like first playing Metal Gear Solid 1 and hoping that they made a figure of Rex. And they've made a couple now, so it's kind of cool. Rex is like one of my favorite mecha designs because Yoji Shinkawa, he just does amazing stuff. You can kind of see the lights on the 3A version. I mean, yeah. Like, that's cool. Anyway, I think I've showed off pretty much whatever I can show when it comes to this stuff. So it's been about an hour and 30. I'm probably just gonna call it a night for a bit because I don't want to ruin my voice from talking too much. But yeah, thanks for dropping a follow. If you want to go on YouTube and drop me a sub there too, that'd be amazing. It was nice to meet you, CKKRS. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Sorry, but it's nice. Thank you so much. I'm very happy to have met you, man. And I'm gonna be signing off. This is Vtuber Magister Extraordinaire. Thank you and good.